all the musicians, that you know what he's talking about, okay. But if you're not a musician, he's the pimp my ride for pedals.
Yeah, well done, well said.
You know. Okay, recording. So, Emil, welcome to the episode. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today. And why don't you tell us a little bit about all those beautiful things for a guitar player that are in front of you?
Well, actually, these are two different products.
Yep.
The first one, you know a bit about it because we met each other 5 years ago and we talked about it. This product is called Snapdrive. And actually, the idea came to me about maybe 7 or 8 years ago. When I started building the concept, I showed this concept to some of my colleagues and they said, well, this is a crazy stuff. Maybe musicians will never use it or stuff like that. And then I built a Facebook page and start the buzz around it. And, you know, I got really good feedback. So what we have done here, I left my job meantime and started a new business. I joined one of my friends in his business and we sat down and we decided to build a prototype. And this is maybe the third prototype you see here. And well, the problem is that currently we are nobody in this music instruments market, and this turned out to be a very complex product. To be honest, we underestimated the complexity of this product and all the manufacturing, issues. So that's why we took a step back. We participated in a trade show here in Bulgaria last year. We received really good feedback, but the problem is that we cannot manufacture few of those and sell them.
I understand.
We have to manufacture a really big batch, let's say 500, in order to get the optimal price and to make it really good, to make it look really good, and start selling it directly to customers. So I decided to focus on one other problem, and this is what happens after the distortion or the preamp effect, after the effects. Maybe I should tell what is.
Well, that. actually, I can touch a little bit on the product if you want, because for the audience that don't know anything about what you see on screen, I mean, I'm pretty sure that you see some yellow boxes and blue boxes, and you think they're cute. But basically, the idea is that you have a guitar, right? And then there's a signal from a guitar that goes into an amp to produce the sound. And between the guitar and the amp, you would put a line of elements, electronic elements, that could be digital or analog for the geeks out there, that will alter the sound. So you would have a distortion that will alter the sound. You would have modulation that will alter the sound. And basically, the final result will come out of the amp. So Emil and his partner are specialized in producing hardware, right, for companies and electronics. And so what he did here is that he composed, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Snapdrive is a platform where you can actually, it's a link between the guitar and the amp. And basically your signal runs through Snapdrive here, and you can basically change the order of the pedals, because if you put one before the other, right, without hassle, without cables, right? So that's basically it. And so what Emil now was trying to explain is, I think, the difficulty of manufacturing, which is very understandable on this product. But tell me a little bit about you. Like, when did it come to you? Because I remember we met like 5 years ago. We met, I think, on a lunch break next to some mall here in Sofia. I've been in the city for like a month. But tell me a little bit, what is it that what made you think of that? Where's the genius behind the head, as they say?
Well, it's nothing special. It's how I say, it's connecting the points.
Okay.
It's coincidence of so many things.
Okay.
At that moment, I closed my first business. My first business was music instruments repair shop.
Mm-hmm.
And there I had many friends asking me to modify their effect pedals, their guitars, they were looking for a certain tone for satisfying their taste.
Oh, I'm going to ask you to do that. Now that you're back in business, I'm going to send you a bunch of pedals, man.
Oh, no, thank you.
You're going to tweak my pedals. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And at the same time, usually what the tweak in the pedal is, we use the schematic that is already built in, and we change few components in order to increase the bass or to reduce it, to
increase the mid, or to increase the gain.
Yes, to increase gain or decrease it, whatever. And
for all the musicians, that you know what he's talking about, okay. But if you're not a musician, he's the pimp my ride for pedals.
Yeah, well done, well said.
You know, like he's the pimp my ride for pedals and for guitar electronics. So you bring him something that already exists, and he just pimps it and makes it do what you want it to do, right?
Yes, and the thing is that in order to make a change, you have to pick the schematic. If it is in internet, you're lucky, or if it is not, you have to draw it on a sheet of paper. And after looking at so many schematics, I saw that there are some blocks repeating in each pedal. So my idea was, if I design some interchangeable circuit, it was not in the way you see it.
Yeah, of course.
If I design some circuit or a breadboard, then that players can make these changes with very easily. They can play with components and find the best sound. And I thought that the players will never do that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we just closed this business, but the thought remained in my head. And with my wife, we were organizing workshops for children who played with electronics and with all this construction stuff, and doing let's say Lego robots, etc. And after I watched those kids who were connecting these constructions, looking in the user manual, which was very colorful and comprehensive.
That's very nice.
I thought, well, if I build such a toy, such a Lego thing for musicians, and build this book where they can follow the idea and create stuff for them, maybe it will work as well. And that's how the idea started. I remember there was one weekend, my daughter was not born, so it's more than 6 years ago. I took PCBs for for do-it-yourself stuff, and created some of the basic blocks. They were very, very ugly. And my wife bought covered cardboard, and so we built this cardboard
pedals.
Small boxes. It's like
just prototyping at home.
5 centimeter, and I shoot a video on my kitchen table, and I post it on the internet. And that's how the Facebook page started, and I began to collect feedback from people.
That's nice.
And from that funny prototype, we moved. It took several years because we have a lot of other projects, and we built that in the free time with free resources. It took a lot of resources. And by the way, I created a crowdfunding campaign just to get some money for prototype, and I sold T-shirts and guitar picks. And what this campaign brought was the interest of one of my friends who is in the US, and he told me he would invest some money to get the prototype, and that's how we got to this prototype.
Super.
And maybe I have to switch to the.
No, actually, the storyline is very nice about the things. I'm always a fan because I'm always looking for okay, what started all of this, and now that you've explained it. But yeah, the Dulo, I think if my history about the Bulgarian country is correct, I think Dulo comes from the dynasty of kings back in the day, correct? So maybe you want to
founders of Bulgarian.
Yeah, maybe you want to switch about this small pedal than what it does, because actually we call it a pedal, but it's not really
pedal amplifier.
It's an amp, right?
It's an amp in pedal. So I just have to finish the story because it's related.
Yeah.
And we attended a trade show where we demonstrated this product, and there's also good feedback. But I sat down and tried playing with this thing, and I thought to myself, well, we have to launch it anyway. Yeah. And what I saw that this thing sounds bad on a bad amplifier and sounds amazing on an amazing amplifier.
Yeah.
And it just came to my head. The problem was not so much the distortion pedals themselves, but the amplifier. Yeah. And you see here my angle head, and it's a really heavy one.
Yeah,
I love it, but it weighs about 20 kilograms.
Yeah.
And well, I thought maybe because I have friends, musicians who don't take this one anymore. Yeah. And I thought to myself, maybe they need something more more mobile, more compact. Mm. It weighs less than 1 kilogram with the power supply.
Yeah, and I have delay pedals that are bigger than this, man. So yes.
And well, what actually I did, I was playing with that one, and I saw that certain combinations of blocks was very, very, very delight to me. I liked it very much.
Okay.
And I decided, well, what we needed a product to launch. We needed something that we can build and sell without selling our kidneys. I mean, to manufacturing. Yeah. So I decided, well, what will happen if I get certain combinations and put them into a box?
Perfect.
And the next idea was, well, I can add also a power amp section, so I can have all the tone control and power amp in one box. And my goal was to create a platform that you can connect any distortion pedal in the world, and make it sound it's not perfect, really good.
Yeah, because for the geeks, also for the geeks out there, if you take for example a DS1 or a Tube Screamer, these are the two distortion pedals that are known. When you plug a DS1 into a Marshall, or when you plug it into a Fender, or when you plug it into a Vox, you get a whole different palette of sounds. If you plug a Tube Screamer into a Marshall, if you plug it into a Fender, if you plug it into a Vox, you can also, and some of you are now typing on their keyboard, you should never put the Tube Screamer in front of a Vox. Anyway, some people do it, and it's fine. You can do whatever you want, right? And so the different sound, and so that's the importance of having a clean signal amp that actually doesn't alter the sound of the pedals that you're using, and actually brings you consistency. I think that's the idea that you went off, right?
Yes, you already told it. When you plug X into Y, it actually means that you always have to carry the X and Y to be consistent everywhere.
Yeah.
Usually the problem is sometimes that you cannot carry the Y.
Yes.
Especially if you travel abroad. Absolutely. And you fly by plane. Carrying this angle, I'm sure I can take it. I can pay for it to be transported, but I'm not sure whether it will work on stage. I mean, it's tube amplifier, very sensitive on vibrations and all that stuff. And
not that we have.
But
let's not have problems with the company. Angle produces very good amps. It's not like we're not criticizing the big the brand. We're criticizing actually the size of the amp. So the alternative here is, so basically what you're telling us here is that you managed to put I believe it's a 30 watt.
Yes, it's 30 watt on 8 ohms, and it is 50 on 4.
Okay.
Usually, 4-ohm cabinets are very, very rare.
Okay. So if I'm a guitar player, this sits on my pedal board and I go straight into a cab that I can rent anywhere, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, good. Nice. So that's an amp.
Yeah, that's an amp.
That's a proper amp. That's a
and
proper amp.
the real 30 watts, because usually some manufacturers tell a fake power or peak-to-peak power or something like that. Usually they rate it 100 watts, and there is saying that it's, by the way, Class D amplified. They're saying that Class D watts are not equal to the tube watts or etc. It's
so actually you're actually trying to solve here, I think, what is it, like a mobility thing, right? Is like you obviously can obtain a very beautiful sound if you plug your Engel or your Marshall or your high power twin from Fender or whatever. You're gonna get that vintage and very nice sound. The problem is that you have to carry around 25 kilograms on your head, and so this is a very decent alternative for a gigging musician to put this on the pedal board, correct? And to say, okay, this provides you with more mobility and actually brings you consistency to your tone. Did I do a good sales job?
Yeah, you're really good.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we are not rich enough to hire you.
Yeah. No, don't worry about this. But okay, so that's the idea. Okay, so now what? So now we have a prototype. I believe you're launching on.
Now we are the 5th, and we are launching on Monday, the 9th.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So what can we expect? How can we purchase it? What to do? What can you tell the audience how they can get to this pedal?
Well, currently we have a page where we collect this is not the right word. I don't like this word, but where people can subscribe with emails to get a notification when the launch is started. And I'm telling you why. Because our idea is to pre-sell an initial batch of only 100 units, and it's because we want to deliver them before Christmas.
Nice.
I mean, we want to ship them in the beginning of December.
Yeah.
So people who are purchasing it,
they get it before Christmas.
Yeah, they get it before Christmas. Maybe it's for a gift or something like that. All these people will get some surprise as I'm not telling what, it will be a surprise.
No, don't tell the surprise, but okay.
Yeah. As a first owner of an amp, and it's a limited edition. The pre-sales will run in 2 weeks. Of course, after those 2 weeks, you can order more amps.
Of course,
you can order amps, but I'm not promising that we will fulfill these orders before Christmas.
Okay, so basically, the launch here is you're running the first 100 pedals. It's a limited edition. So if anybody wants to have like a let's say a collectible item from Kyro, this is it. Like they should order this one, and it will be made available for them before Christmas if they're in the 100 people, correct?
Exactly.
Good. And so first come, first serve. So everybody that registers online will get one.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. I'm definitely gonna get one. I think sent my email 5 times to play statistics, but I'm definitely gonna buy one. That's you have your first client 100%. So
and it will be shipping free. I mean, free shipping for
free shipping for Bulgaria. Also in Europe, are you able?
Also worldwide.
Okay, so you're gonna free ship worldwide the first 100 units to make them available for people before Christmas.
And well, you know, the current situation
with COVID.
We will do our best to do that.
Of course.
We're not sure what will happen in 2 weeks. So
of course.
But I believe that most of the businesses will not be shut down. We follow some restrictions, but it's better than.
I'm pretty sure that people now understand that there's a COVID factor, and that makes a perfect transition. Because I'm gonna ask you about it. I think people understand that there's a COVID factor, and at some point you just cannot put everything on the company. So you'll ship But if UPS or DHL or whoever decides to deliver in 3 weeks instead of delivering in 1 because of COVID, then this is what it is. But in any case, I mean, congratulations on this. So following on this, how does COVID affect all of this for you? Because we spoke, I think, one time about the guy from Wampler, Brian Wampler.
Yes, actually, I'll tell you what happened. The first prototype we built, we ordered the PCBs exactly before the Chinese holidays. I mean, New Year.
Yeah.
February.
Yeah.
And they shut down. I mean, we waited for so long to get the printed circuit boards.
Wow.
And it added some delay.
Mm-hmm.
The plan was to launch it in September.
Mm-hmm.
And you see what happened. And now they've fixed all the supplies. I mean, everything works well with China.
Okay.
But the whole business here, I would not say we struggle, because we are not a hotel or something or a restaurant. We don't struggle, but we see some drop in the workload we had in the past compared to last year. Autumn usually is a very, very powerful season for creating products and building stuff.
Yeah, but I mean
after the summer and we see this drop.
Yeah.
And but this is
the perfect time.
This is the perfect time. This is the perfect time we could invest some more time in our product.
Absolutely.
Well, there is a lack of money, and there is all that stuff. People, the normal business logic will telling you, well, don't launch now. Musicians are in bad condition.
To me, on the contrary, man, you are not launching. You're launching a convenience. You're not launching a product that is not already known. Guitar amps are out there, but you're tweaking the guitar amp into a point where instead of, like, if I have to plug, I think people don't realize that if you want to plug the angle behind him at home and you want to play at home at the volume where you're going to get a nice sound, your neighbors are going to call the cops in less than 5 minutes on you, right? Like, you're going to have problems with your neighbors. But I think this pedal is right. I think this pedal is, you put it and even on low volume at home, it's a perfect amp home, in my opinion.
And by the way, I reveal one more secret. We are working on exactly a bedroom amp.
Oh, nice.
But this is focused more on professionals, by the way.
All right. But you can record with it, right? If I'm a professional at home, I can plug it to my sound card directly.
Of course. This one you can plug to the sound card, or the reason is that it doesn't have a headphone jack. I mean, it's built for pedal boards, not for a desk application. You can use them. You can use this amplifier. My point was that a lot of people were telling me, well, it's not the perfect time to launch. And I said, when the COVID situation may take 2 years. And I see what my idols are doing right now. Like Brian Wampler, he's building new stuff, he's promoting it, and he's crushing the market. And say, what the hell? I have to do it. We have to launch it.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
I left a safe job. Like, I was a partner in a company. I left a relatively safe job. We were in the event industry. Of course, we took a hit, but I left to launch another company. And so that's also it. Like, when it's never the right time. you know?
Maybe it's a way to procrastinate. I mean,
just so. In any case, congratulations. Tell us a little bit about the features of the pedal for a working musician. So if you're a working musician, what are the different applications a working musician at home can use this pedal for?
Well, working musicians usually have two options. They play with cabinet or without cabinet.
Okay.
And we covered both of them. I mean, we have a speaker output,
all right,
and we have a DI output, and build it cabinet simulator.
Okay.
So if a musician decides to go on the stage without the cabinet and plug into
the PA,
into the PA,
okay,
he can use the DI with the cap sim switch on.
Nice.
But if he decides to do a recording session or play at home, he can use the same DI output plugged into the sound interface and switch the cab off and use his favorite impulse responses or whatever he has, and then play with the amp.
So you're providing both options in one switch.
Yes.
Okay, nice.
And,
That's nice.
we have the ground lift. I mean, it's a must.
Yeah.
For the preamp, we have a bright switch.
Yes.
Which adds more highs, and you can bypass the EQ. This is one of the options that I have never seen on a stock amplifier.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I really want to bypass the EQ.
Yeah, and you just want the volume and that's it. Yeah.
And well, normally people use the return of the amp, but I want the preamp section, but I want to bypass the EQ.
Yeah.
And this is not possible.
Although it's very simple to add, just a switch. Yeah, most manufacturers don't do that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what's next. So we spoke about the pedal, we spoke about the technicality, we spoke about your story. Let's cover a little bit what's next. What are your plans for?
By the way, I forgot something.
Yes.
There is a presence knob. This is something that I miss very much on some amplifiers, because sometimes I just want to compensate the loss of very high highs, or the lack of them over the cabinet. So this thing makes the amplifier more versatile when you have to adjust to a different cabinet.
Okay.
Assume you're going for a gig and you have a cabinet on stage. Maybe the club has a cabinet, or there is somebody else's cabinet, and you can use it and you can compensate this presence.
I'm pretty sure with those 3 watts, I'm pretty sure if you plug it in a 2x12 or a 4x10 or a 4x12, I'm pretty sure you can gig with it with no issues in a middle size in the middle size stage. And if they want to increase your volume, they just plug in an SM57, a small mic in front of your cab, and you're set. So that's I think you're really solving. In any case, I'm buying one, monsieur. So that I already registered. I don't know if I'm in the list. If I'm not, I should be.
You are. I checked it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. So so that's nice.
Okay, what's next? What's next?
So what's next is, now we spoke about this. Do you plan on is Kyro gonna be the next Wampler, the next, I don't know, the next MXR, the next, or are you gonna be more the JHS and more the Hawly Huge? I mean, all those brands that we love, and I'm sure you love as well. What is what is Kyro gonna stand for?
Well, what I learned from those idols, I say, for me, people like Brian and Joshua changed the world of pedals. Absolutely. I mean, they proved that there could be always one more. I mean, there's always a place for a new pedal.
100%.
And I think I'm not competing them. They're giant brands, but you know, I have a lot of pedals, and my problem is that I love all of them. I mean, they are quite different. Even if you buy 2 pedals from one brand, they're different in some way. Yeah. So what we are focused here, we are sure for something that we cannot build cheap stuff.
Yes.
I mean, here in Europe, well, we use China and Chinese suppliers, but what we want to do is to assemble those amplifiers here and to stay with this quality we want to provide to the market. We cannot build cheap stuff because we are not competitive. We cannot build something that costs 30 to 50 euro or something like that, because when you go cheap, you cannot provide the value we and maybe this is something like of our nature or our bring up. You know, I think we are almost the same age, and I'm raised in a home where we have those high quality, you know, cassette decks
100%.
recorders like Pioneer and all that
Listen,
stuff.
my father has a Sony stereo system. He bought it when I was born. They're still listening music on it. You know,
exactly.
they're still listening to music on it, and it doesn't change. And it's handmade speakers that you'd find nowhere else. It has a sound precision that you'd find nowhere else. And he fixed it maybe 50 times throughout the years, right? But he fixed it. Like it's like they like the quality sound and the quality engineered, well-built product. So I can understand that.
Yeah, and in a world where we are surrounded with this cheap stuff, we believe that there is a place for something
100%
really high quality and
100%. 100%.
By the way, I'm very respectful to brands like Behringer.
Oh yes, of course.
They created amazing stuff for such a low price, very accessible.
Yeah.
And perfect for home users.
Or 100%. Listen, even the brands like like the guitar that I have here is an Ibanez Geo. So it's really the first of the line Ibanez. Even the Ibanez Geo is way better than the $100 guitar that we used to buy in the 80s or in the 90s, you know? So those brands have contributed to be able to...
it's not a way better, it's amazing compared to
what we had, you know? Like I remember having guitars where the action, the strings are just 1 meter high, 1 inch high above the neck. The neck was bent like something like this. So now I think, as you say, Behringer and those companies are actually making the music available, are making people to be able to gig and record at home at a very cheap price, you know, like that's something very nice. That's something very nice.
So I'm respectful to all brands.
Perfect.
Especially Engel, they're built in Germany.
Yeah, they're built. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing quality.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good. So you're gonna focus on this amp. Are we going to see Snapdrive again? Do you think you're gonna work on Snapdrive, or is it something that is just part of the history of the company now?
Well, I still believe that there is a place for this product, and we will tweak it a little bit. It won't be the same concept because we collected some feedback from musicians and we see what they need. The problem is that we focus to build a distortion pedal, which is very, very complex, and most of the musicians were telling me, well, when are we going to see a delay and reverb blocks?
Yeah.
I thought, oh God, we built a different expectations in the musicians, and maybe we have to follow that expectations. And the amp is something we start with.
Perfect.
And we think of building more products around it. By the way, we plan to release a few distortion pedals in the near future, maybe after in 2021, after New Year Eve.
Nice.
And those will be based on some certain combinations that we find work really well. And we will do our best to be the best match. I mean, these pedals.
To be on this. No, but I even have a friend that here in Bulgaria was considering buying a small amp or a small head for his gigs, and he's like, man, I'm tired of carrying my combo. And when we spoke, that I said, hold on the 9th, something is happening. Before you buy your amp, just check this out, right? Just check this pedal out. And he literally sent me a message saying, man, I'm hooked. He watched this view. By the way, I'm gonna include all the links in the description to the website, to the campaign, to all the reviews on the website. And I'm sure Emil will be more than happy to answer questions if you reach out on him directly, to him directly about your product. So I think it's, listen, you're solving a real problem here, regardless of pricing, regardless of whether it exists or doesn't exist. I believe using Kettner makes smaller ones. I think Vox makes small amps, the MV50s, but they're not as well built, and they don't have the flexibility of an EQ. They don't have flexibility of those kind of things. So I'm pretty sure you're solving a problem, and I'm really hoping that this will actually be on pedal boards really soon. At least it will be on mine, because I have a Marshall Plexi replica kind of thing, right? But you cannot gig with that at home. And so what I'm using now is basically my audio interface at home, but I would love nothing more than to plug this into a small cab or
it's always better, man.
It's always better to have a amp and not
driving the air with the speaker is
an amp with a speaker is always better than having it directly plugged into the line.
For me.
For me too, man. I'm, listen, you'll go on my social media. The three things you'll see business, you'll see events, and you'll see guitars. I mean, it's not nothing gets geeker than me about these things. It's Christmas. Every time there's a guitar, it's Christmas. Like, you see your room right now. I took a screenshot of this because that's what I want behind me for the next episodes. So that's something. Okay, listen. What final words? Any final words for your audience, for the people? What to expect from Kyro?
Well, go on the website and subscribe.
Right. And let's gig.
We need to sell some stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So you heard the man. Go to the website, subscribe. So that's thanks for taking time to talk to us about this. It's really refreshing to see during COVID times that some people are still thinking about making things better for gigging musicians, especially that with the COVID they got hit really. And I think a lot of musicians are now thinking of a better way to maximize their efficiency at work. And I think your pedal is gonna solve a problem. So thanks, Emil. If you have any kind of things we can help you with, I'm more than happy to do so, and I'm pretty sure that I'll be gigging on this one on Christmas.
Well, after the launch on Monday, we can create an update. Some short stuff.
And so let's commit to this. Once this goes on a Christmas, let's do another episode after the 100 pedals are sold, and see where that goes, and plan for 2021 and follow up on this.
Great.
And by then I'll have the pedal here somewhere in the office, and I'll plug it and we'll gig on it and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, great. Sounds good.
Okay, great. Thank you for joining us then, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope it brought you some value. If you would like to engage, please leave a comment in the comment section. You can also click the subscribe button and activate notification to receive the updates on this channel.